Live from the CBS Broadcast Center in Philadelphia, this is CBS 3 Eyewitness News on the CW Philly.
Tonight at 10, we're following a developing story in North Philadelphia. A 59-year-old man gunned down inside of his own home. But first, a look at our winter weather. It's been a roller coaster ride today. Earlier, there was snow. Now you can ditch those shovels for an umbrella if you'll be out in the overnight. Good evening, everyone. I'm Howard Monroe in for Joe Holden. The snow and rain have moved out, but it's downright cold out there. We're taking a live look now at Bethlehem, Northampton County. The streets are wet, but the grass is still coated with light snow. Eyewitness News also in Lower Saucon Township, Northampton County earlier today. Route 378 was covered in a light coating of snow, but it wasn't much of a problem there for drivers. In North Philadelphia, people were shoveling for the first time in quite a while. Nothing too heavy, just enough to coat the sidewalks. And at least 22 flights to and from Philadelphia International Airport were canceled today. This is video of crews de-icing planes on the runway this afternoon. Meteorologist Matt Peterson is tracking what we can expect overnight and tomorrow. Good evening, Matt.
Well, good evening there, Howard. Yes, we've had a little bit of everything today. We threw the kitchen sink, or Mother Nature threw the kitchen sink at us from the snow early in the morning. Then we had that transitional time, and now it is cold. It is also going to be getting very windy in the next 24 hours. So let's take a look at what's going on. Storm Scan 3, well, the most of the snow, the heaviest precipitation that really was a big problem for us again through the morning and most of the afternoon, since moved off the coastline. Still looking at some heavier snow going through the Boston area, but you see out over the Atlantic Ocean, a lot of rain taking over. Now out in central Pennsylvania, there is another weak band that's kind of working its way through. That is actually the official cold front that's associated with this low that still spirals off to our north. Right now, it's entering into an area where some southerly winds have really started to take over. So that's why a lot of this precipitation out in central parts of PA at this point is just rain. Now, yes, there is a little bit of wintry mix maybe thrown in there as well. And as this works its way closer and closer to us here in the Delaware Valley through the overnight tonight, that will bring with it a chance for maybe a couple light scattered rain showers to the I-95 corridor before the night is all said and done. Winds are starting to now shift. They're coming in out of the south instead of that kind of westerly direction that we did have at times later or earlier on this afternoon. It's a little bit breezy out there, though, 10 to 15 to 20 miles an hour, and temperatures are reflecting that southerly flow. We're actually now up to 37 here in the city, 39 in Millville, 40s along the coastline, and we're going to continue to see those temperatures rise as we go through the rest of the nighttime hours tonight. 43 degrees, Howard, as we get into the early morning hours on Sunday. We'll talk about a drop in temperatures and, again, a little bit more about that overnight rain chance coming up.
Developing tonight, a 60-year-old man is shot and killed in North Philadelphia. Gunfire rang out just before 6:30 on the 3000 block of North Banbury Street. Police say the victim was shot multiple times in the chest and pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators did recover a gun, but there are no arrests at this time. Also developing right now, Philadelphia police are investigating a triple shooting in the Belmont section of the city. Eyewitness News on the 800 block of North 41st Street. Police say 3 males were shot and are in critical condition. The victims are 17, 19, and 24 years old. Police say one weapon was recovered on one of the victims. There are no arrests in this case. Now at 10, another jewelry theft at a Philadelphia Mills jewelry store in less than a month. Philadelphia police are investigating after a man swiped a $12,000 gold chain from Kay Jewelers. The suspect was seen fleeing in an older model white vehicle. On December 31st, 3 suspects stole $55,000 worth of jewelry from Chimi's boutique. No word on whether anyone was charged for that crime. In cities across the country today, women marched in solidarity, seeking to harness their political power to fight for equality and better health care. Scenes like these played out from San Francisco to New York, marking the 4th annual Women's March, dubbed this year Rise and Roar. Eyewitness News reporter Dan Koob gives us a look at this year's march in Philadelphia.
We're not scared anymore. We want it, so we're going to get it.
Thousands made the 4th annual march up the Parkway Saturday, stumping for women's rights, immigration reform, LGBTQ acceptance, voting rights, and so much more. a vehicle to have voices heard.
The message is incredibly important. If you don't come out, what's the point?
I was an 18-year-old mom who broke the statistics. I need you to break your own statistics. We have the same issues that we've been facing for years. There's still not enough women taking office. There's still not enough people sitting at the tables of these boardrooms. There's still not enough people making choices about our health care.
The march marks generational growth, daughters and mothers sharing signs and significant steps. Abby Wall brought her mother April Saturday. April, by her own admission, has been passive in her past, but no more.
I have to say that through her, I've found a voice also. She might be my daughter, but she's my strength.
My mom's a strong woman. I see all the struggles that she's gone through as I'm growing up, and I feel really strongly about women in the workplace and us getting our fair share.
We have to continue to make our own decisions, make our own strategies, and make our own mind up to what we need and what we're going to do. Until then, we're going to keep being loud.
Dan Koob, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
A family of 4 is displaced after an early morning fire spreads from one row home to another in Philadelphia's Tacony section. Firefighters responded earlier this morning to a home on the 6700 block of Torresdale Avenue. The fire spread from a vacant row house to an occupied house. 2 adults and 2 children got out unharmed. The cause of the fire is under investigation. And also, we have some video now of the royal rift there coming out of the UK. And, you know, they're saying now that Prince Harry and Meghan, they will no longer be part of the royal family. We'll have that story for you coming up right now.
It's not often Queen Elizabeth makes public concessions, but Her Majesty agreed to officially release Prince Harry and Meghan from their royal duties. In a statement, Queen Elizabeth said, "I recognize the challenges they have experienced as a result of intense scrutiny over the last 2 years and support their wish for a more independent life." As part of a deal expected to start in the spring, the couple will no longer use the Royal Highness title, but they won't be stripped of it. Harry and Meghan, who will remain the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, will stop receiving public funding for their work. Last week, they dropped a royal bombshell, announcing they wanted to step down as senior royals.
The swiftness with which they've taken this decision only 18 months after they got married has taken everyone by surprise, from the Queen all the way down.
Once he wraps up his meetings here in the UK, Harry will head to Canada to join his wife Meghan and their 8-month-old son Archie.
The Queen has agreed to let Harry and Meghan split their time between the UK and Canada. Canada is part of the British Commonwealth nations, where the Queen is officially head of state. In her statement, Queen Elizabeth says it's her whole family's hope that the agreement lets them start to build a happy and peaceful new life. Gwen Baumgardner, CBS News, London.
We are less than 72 hours away from the impeachment trial in the Senate, how the president is preparing this weekend. Plus, health experts rush to some major U.S. airports. A new mystery illness has them concerned. And we're not the only people dealing with snow, how winter storms are pounding the heartland. That's when we come back. Welcome back. 2 shootings tonight in the city of Philadelphia in a matter of hours. One was a triple shooting in Belmont, but before that, a 59-year-old man was shot multiple times and killed at a home on North Banbury Street. Eyewitness News reporter Shantae Land spoke with his distraught family members tonight. She is live at the scene with the latest. Good evening, Shantae.
Howard, the first of 2 shootings happened here on this street. Crime scene investigators are out gathering evidence. Relatives identified the victim as 59-year-old John Rawls. They say he was shot and killed at his own home around 6:30 p.m. He lived on the 3000 block of North Banbury Street in North Philadelphia. Police say he was shot multiple times in his chest. The motive behind the shooting is unclear. Police recovered a weapon at this scene. But around 8 p.m., Philadelphia police responded to a triple shooting in West Philly on the 800 block of North 41st Street. 3 males were shot, including a 24-year-old who was shot in his head. A 17-year-old and a 19-year-old were also shot in their chests. All victims are listed in critical condition. 1 weapon was recovered on scene on one of the victims there, but back on Banbury Street, the victim's siblings say John Rawls was a hardworking and selfless man.
He worked at Dave & Buster's, and he was a hard-working man, and he was friendly to anybody, and he would give anybody anything they asked for. So For the person that did this, I don't know why, but I pray God finds you. Yeah. I pray God finds you. Because my brother, you should not have done that to my brother. You know my brother would have gave you whatever you asked for.
I'm asking that if anybody have any information, that please call the police and tell them what happened. Yeah. My brother won't do anything to anybody. Please help us find the person that did this.
The victim's siblings were planning to throw a 60th birthday party for him in June. So far, no arrests. Live in North Philadelphia, Shantae Lands, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
Thanks, Shantae. We are less than 72 hours from the start of President Trump's impeachment trial in the Senate. And tonight, the president's new legal team and impeachment managers are previewing their case. CBS News correspondent Nicole Killian is traveling with the president in West Palm Beach.
President Trump spent part of the day at his golf club while his legal team submitted its formal answer to the articles of impeachment, calling them a dangerous attack on the right of the American people to freely choose their president and constitutionally invalid.
Impeaching a president is one of the most monumentous things you can do in our country.
Former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi is one of several lawyers on the president's new roster, along with other big names like former independent prosecutor Ken Starr and constitutional expert Alan Dershowitz, who says his role will be limited.
I'm only going to appear on behalf of the Constitution, making the arguments against impeachment based on the Constitution.
A source working with the impeachment team confirmed Dershowitz and Starr won't be everyday participants in the trial, with each member having a specific lane. The White House plans a three-pronged defense strategy, arguing the impeachment articles allege no violation of law. The Senate trial is a product of a flawed process in the House, and the case collapses on the facts.
They're trying to impeach the son of a. Can you believe that?
On Capitol Hill, House impeachment managers filed a trial brief establishing the president is guilty of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress, asserting his conduct is the framers' worst nightmare. It follows a document dumped Friday by Democrats with more evidence from Lev Parnas, an associate of Rudy Giuliani.
With all of that in consideration, I think it's vital for the Senate to hear witnesses.
With the trial set to start Tuesday, senators balancing jury and campaign duty tried to make the most of their time this weekend.
I'm not canceling events, and that is how I run my life and how I'm going to run this campaign to the very end. We're just going to have to double down and work even harder.
While all senators will be present for the trial, the president may not. He's expected to travel abroad to Davos next week for an economic forum. Nicole Killian, CBS News, West Palm Beach.
Officials are performing health screenings at major U.S. airports, hoping to contain an outbreak of a new mystery respiratory virus. Experts from the CDC are at New York's JFK Airport checking the temperatures of passengers from Wuhan, China. So far, there have been 45 cases and 2 deaths from coronavirus. It spread to Thailand and Japan, prompting warnings from the World Health Organization. And we are not the only ones who had snow today. Drivers faced whiteout conditions near Jamestown, North Dakota. The winds were howling. The North Dakota Highway Patrol provided this video for us. And Matt Peterson, he is here now. Thankfully, we weren't dealing with any of that here today. But before the show, I stepped outside, and I mean, it's chilly out there, what we're experiencing here.
Yeah, you know, it's chilly. The wind is starting to pick up a little bit. The good news for us, it's a southerly wind. So there's cold temperatures from earlier today. We're actually getting a quick break.
Okay.
But then don't worry, it's going to get cold again, folks. So, you know.
All right, it's winter.
Ready. You know, don't put the winter coat away just yet. But let's take a look outside where it doesn't look anything like North Dakota here, overlooking at Center City this evening. A gray scene, to say the least. And as Howard said, we're not seeing any rain right now, but we're going to see a couple light scattered showers at times through the overnight tonight as our actual cold front eventually sweeps on through, and it brings that last little bit of precipitation with it. But again, overall, a nice, at least quiet for the time being, night in the Philadelphia area here right now. Snow totals for us from this afternoon. We got it up with 3 or more inches of snow in more than a few spots as you headed up into the Lehigh Valley. Washington Township came up just shy of 4 inches earlier today, 3.9 for you. Nazareth, 3.5 inches. Tobyhanna up towards the Poconos, 3 inches of snow. Philly, officially 0.2 of an inch. So we finally got above that trace that we had at the Philadelphia airport earlier today. And this is so far, at least in Philly, officially our biggest snowfall that we've had this season. Storm Scan 3 shows our low still off to the north. It continues to really rotate away. So areas across New England still getting in on some of the snow action for us. But again, the actual legitimate cold front is still well out to our west. And you see the showers out there moving through areas like State College towards Williamsport, even a little bit of wintry mix still going on. But again, as you head into southwestern parts of the state, just plain rain. And that's because this front itself is moving into an area of relatively warm air, we'll call it, as we've jumped up into the high 30s and 40s for the most part. Again, we're across the Delaware Valley. So again, warmer air sits off to the east. But again, still looking at plenty of precipitation that's going to continue to eventually work its way through the overnight tonight. So this is what we're expecting. Few areas of light scattered rain showers through the nighttime hours. Again, that's going to be as the cold front sweeps through. Mix is possible north and west of the city, but our temperatures are really going to jump up. Warm air pumps in this warm, or I should say southerly winds pump in this warm air out of the south, so our temperatures are really going to rise. You see by 3 o'clock in the morning, though, it's light scattered rain showers across I-95, maybe already moving into South Jersey. And then as we get into the early morning hours on Sunday, we're actually going to start the day out pretty dry. 8 a.m., we could even see a little bit of sun. But again, that west-northwesterly wind flow is really the biggest problem for us in the afternoon hours. Maybe a mix of sun and clouds. Temperatures, though, very chilly. So we take it from about 9, 10 o'clock tonight to tomorrow morning, 3 a.m. 41 degrees here in the city, and that will be just about our high temperature for the day on Sunday, because by lunchtime we've already dropped back down into the 30s, and by 4 o'clock the freezing mark for us here in the city. So our 7-day forecast, again, that 43 tomorrow for the high happens 2, 3, 4 o'clock or so in the morning, dropping it back down into the 30s. Then on Sunday night into Monday, we'll talk about a high of only 33 degrees, 34 on Tuesday. We will see some 40s by the middle of the week. We'll be right back on the CW Philly.
The Sixers starting a 3-game road trip tonight against the 11-win Knicks. They have not won a road game since December 23rd, 6 straight losses. Ben Simmons going for his 4th straight game with 20 or more points. Game all tied up in the second period. Sixers on the break. Ben goes in for the dunk. That sent the crowd crazy. They had a 6-point halftime lead. Fourth quarter, Sixers up by 1, under a minute left. Philly native Marcus Morris Sr. with the jumper. Knicks take the lead. So the Sixers call timeout. And after that, the inbounds pass goes to Tobias Harris. He goes for 3. It's good. The Sixers with a 2-point lead. Now the Knicks have one last chance to tie up the game. Morris goes for 3. No good. The 6-game road losing streak is over. 90-87, the final. Well, after Thursday's disappointing loss to the Canadiens, the Flyers back in action against one of the worst teams in hockey right now, the LA Kings. Brian Elliott getting the start and goal for the Flyers, getting some offensive help. No score in the first. Flyers with a 2-on-1 advantage. JVR to Travis Konechny. His one-timer finds the back of the net, and the Flyers lead 1-0. Second period, JVR and TK hooking up again. Konechny beating Jack Campbell. Travis's second goal of the game. Flyers lead by 2. Third period, Flyers up 3-1 on the power play. Kevin Hayes will shoot. JVR there for the redirection. That's his first goal in 13 games. So the Flyers take care of the Kings 4-1, the final. Lots of college hoops on this Saturday. We'll start with 14th ranked Villanova taking on former Big East rival UConn down at the center. Second half, Wildcats down by 3. Colin Gillespie dribbles into the lane, makes the jumper in the paint. And with that, Nova ties the game. Collins scoring all 12 of his points in the second half. Just over 3 minutes left, Nova down 2. Jermaine Samuels drives and makes the basket at his foul. Villanova regains the lead. Under 40 seconds left. Cats hanging on. The ball goes to Samuels for 3. It's good. Jermaine with a game-high 19 points. Villanova beats the Huskies 61-55. In other action, Temple and the Lone Star State playing SMU. The Owls have lost 3 out of 4. Second half, game tied. Ball to Quentin Rose in the corner. The 3 is good. Then the Mustangs just ran away with this one. SMU with the ball. Allie Tyson Jolly with a game-high 25 points. SMU beat Temple 68-52. Let's head to Happy Valley. Penn State facing Ohio State. Second half, Nittany Lions up 15. Seth Lundy with the foul line jumper. He had 12 points. Penn State up by 17. Later, Lamar Stevens with the ball and the one-handed dunks. Stevens scoring 14 of his 24 points in the second half. Nittany Lions snapping a 3-game losing streak, upsetting the 21st-ranked Buckeyes. 90-76 is your final. A City Series matchup over at the Balestra. Penn taking on St. Joe. Second half. Hawks with a 1-point lead. A.J. Broder drives. Makes a tricky layup there to give the Quakers the lead. Broder with the game high 33 points for Penn. But here come the Hawks. Ryan Daly with the ball. Drives right past the Penn defense, making the layup to give St. Joe's the lead. The next Hawks possession. Daly for 3. It is good. Daly leading the Hawks with 30 points. St. Joe's wins their 4th game of the season, 87-81. Let's go to Atlantic 10 action. Ashley Howard's LaSalle Explorers on the road against Rhode Island. Second half, just over 4 minutes left. LaSalle down 1. David Beatty, it's a mid-range jumper right there. Explorers take the lead. LaSalle down by 1. That's Russell missing the jumper, but the Rams get the rebound. Tyrese Martin making the putback shot right there. Rhode Island holds off the Explorers 66-63. Drexel beat William & Mary 84-57. We'll be right back.
Well, as a cause near and dear to our hearts, tonight was the 14th annual Lemon Ball fundraiser at Philadelphia's Marriott downtown. Our own Yuki Washington and Jessica Cartalia MC tonight's festivities. The event raises money to fund research for treatments to fight childhood cancer. And it's all done in the name of Alex Scott, the little girl who started a movement with a lemonade stand. Today is Alex's birthday. She would have turned 24 years old. Well, thanks so much for watching Eyewitness News on the CW Philly. For Matt, Leslie, and all of us here, I'm Howard Monroe. We'll see you at 11 o'clock over on CBS 3. Have a good night.